Alright, today we are going to be talking about order of operations, and we are going to evaluate expressions. Okay, so order of operations, you all should remember PEMDAS, right? Where P stands for parentheses, E stands for exponent, M stands for multiply, D stands for divide, A stands for add, and S stands for subtract. Now I want you to remember, if you have an expression and you have multiply and divide, you're just going to read that left to right. Same goes for add and subtract. You will read that left to right. Alright, so let's just go ahead and jump into some examples. So first example, we've got 12 times 3 plus 8. So I want you to get into the habit of thinking about PEMDAS. There's no parentheses, there's no exponent, multiply. Yes, we have multiplication. We've got 12 times 3, and 12 times 3 is 36, and then drag down the plus 8. So 12 times 3 is where I got 36, drag down the plus 8. So now we've only got one operation, and we just perform that operation. 36 plus 8 is 44. Okay, let's move on. Second example, -3 parentheses 4 minus 3 squared. Okay, so following PEMDAS, parentheses. Now, don't get confused. There's nothing inside the parentheses for me to perform, so I skip that. Then I go to exponent. Yes, I have an exponent. I need to take care of that first. Okay, so I'm going to drag down the -3 times 4, because see, that's really multiplication. Alright, I'm going to drag that down, and I'm going to perform this first. 3 squared. 3 squared is 9, so I'm dragging down that minus, and then 3 squared is 9. Okay, so now that I've taken care of that, I took care of the exponent, I need to take care of the multiply. And the multiply I have here is -3 times +4. Negative times a positive is a negative. That's going to be -12, drag down the -9. Alright, -12 minus 9, same sign. Whenever they have the same sign, add 12 and 9. So 12 plus 9 is 21. And we're going to keep the sign of negative. Alright. So now let's do another example. I have 7 plus 4 squared. Alright, so going through PEMDAS, first thing we see is exponent. We need to take care of that, so we're going to drag down the 7 plus. And what is 4 squared? 4 squared is 16. Alright, and now with just one operation left, we perform that. 7 plus 16 is 23. Alright, next example. Now we've got -3, absolute value 10 minus 15. Close your absolute value. Alright, so I want you to think of absolute value as parentheses. Those are kind of like parentheses there. So we're going to perform what's inside that absolute value first. So 10 minus 15, remember we've got opposite signs here. One's plus, one's negative. 10 minus 15, so we're going to look at the largest number, 15 minus 10, which is 5. And since the largest number is negative, that means this is going to stay negative. So 10 minus 15 is -5. Okay, and don't forget to drag down that -3 on the outside. So now we're going to perform this absolute value, the parentheses here. What is the absolute value of -5? Remember, absolute value just means you keep positive numbers positive, negative numbers become positive. So absolute value of -5 is 5. And again, don't forget to drag down that -3. So now we only have that one operation left, -3 times 5, which is -15. All right, so let's look at, we've got 2 more examples of this type. So next example, move this down. I'm going to come up to the top. Next example, we're going to do 2 plus 3 times 4 minus 1. All right, so following our order of operations, we don't have parentheses, we don't have exponent, so we're going to handle that multiply first. The multiply is the 3 times the 4, so I'm going to drag down the 2, perform 3 times 4, positive 3 times positive 4 is positive 12, drag down the -1. All right, so now since we've got add and subtract left, remember we read that left to right. So from left to right, we're going to do 2 plus 12. 2 plus 12 is 14. Drag down the -1. 14 minus 1 is 13. All right, last example of this type. Got 3, bracket 4 minus 2, parentheses 1 plus 5 squared minus 21. Close those parentheses, close those brackets. Okay, so when you have double parentheses or a bracket in here, you need to handle the innermost parentheses first. So that means this set here. So I'm looking inside here, and in here I have to follow PEMDAS. So that means I need to take care of that exponent before I take care of anything else. So I'm going to, this is going to take a lot of steps. I'm going to drag down all of this stuff. And what I'm going to take care of first, I'm dragging down, I'm dragging down everything so far. It's 1 plus, except for this 5 squared, which I'm going to perform. 5 squared is 25. Drag down the -21, close parentheses, close bracket. Okay, so I still have this innermost parentheses, so I'm going to drag everything else down still. Can't even get to that part yet. Okay, so all I have in here is plus and minus. That means I just read this left to right. So from left to right, I've got 1 plus 25, that's 26, minus 21. So 1 plus 25 is 26, minus 21. And 26 minus 21 is 5. Okay, so then I'm going to close my parentheses, close my brackets. So now what I need to take care of is the brackets, that second parentheses. So in the brackets, first and foremost, all I've got is addition or subtraction and multiplication. So I need to take care of the multiplication first. So I've got to drag down the 4 and then multiply. -2 times +5, which is -10. All right, close my bracket there. So all I did right there was multiply the -2 and the +5. Okay, so now I can finish this off. 4 minus 10, opposite signs, take 10 minus 4, which is 6. And since the larger of the 2 is negative, that remains negative. All right, still in brackets, still with a 3 on the outside. Last but not least, that brackets also acts as multiplication, so you've got 3 times -6, which is -18. All right, let's turn to the back and do 2 quick examples on evaluating. So turn to the back, and we have evaluate, where let x equal 2, and let y equal -3, and z equal 6. Okay, first example. How about x, y plus z? So just substitute in. X is 2. y is negative 3, and remember when they're right next to each other, that means multiplication. So 2 times negative 3 plus z, and z is 6. So following my order of operations, multiply first. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Drag down the plus 6. Negative 6 plus 6 is 0. All right, one more example. We've got y divided by x times z. Okay, so y is negative 3, we're just plugging in, divided by x is 2. Z, remember that means when they're right next to each other, that means times, and z is 6. So I want you to flip back. Remember, if you have multiply and divide in one expression, you're going to read left to right. You're going to do multiply first before divide. So what we're going to do here is we're going to perform this multiplication first. So we're going to keep the negative 3. 2 times 6 is 12. And now we're done.